Falchagu ye Olde Scots, the Beginners Gaelic course. Kimraha Huladunya, how is everyone? Looky there, you already know how to say welcome to and how is everyone. Alright, in the next 25 lessons of Fekimich Beck Gaelic, that's Let's Try a Little Gaelic, with a little work you can gain a rudimentary understanding of the Scottish Gaelic language. Now, these lessons were taken from my weekly podcast beginning back on May 15th of 2020. So if you like, you can listen to them there as well. But please remember that I am not an authority on the Gaelic language. I just love learning it. I struggle like most all learners. And so what I teach comes right from well-respected Gaelic teachers. I hope you find it interesting, informative, and fun. And as always, I display on the screen what I'm discussing so you can follow along. All right, Kersh Maha, which means, all right then, let's get started. So, lesson 1. Now, lesson 1 is just some simple phrases to get you started. Whenever anybody's beginning a language, they want to be able to say certain things right off the bat. And it's helpful too. And it makes you feel like you're already into the language. So, today is going to be pretty quick and simple. The first one is Kimra Hashiv. How are you? That's a standard greeting. And of course the reply would be Hamigama, Tapalev. I'm well, thank you. And, you know, a lot of people, they'll say I'm well, thank you, even when they're not well. But the reply to that, of course, is Kimra Hashiv Hain, which is how are you yourself? And then your conversation would grow from there. You'd say, Kimra Hashiv and Jew, how are you today? And maybe you knew somebody was sick but you saw them out at the shop or something. You could say, Kimra Hashiv and Jew, how are you today? Well, just another standard greeting here is Matin Va, good morning. But what if it's not morning? So it'd be Feskerma, which is the good evening or good afternoon. And then, of course, there's Oichiva, which is good night. Okay, you've got Haibria, which is either she is beautiful or it's beautiful. You've got Hai Allen, which is it's lovely or gorgeous, or she is lovely or gorgeous. Of course, you've seen Tapalev already. Thank you. The answer to that would be Shedavaha, you're welcome, or it is your life, literally. Masadahole, which is please. Mordan Tang, many thanks. Is Misha Eileen, which is my name is Alan. My name is Misha Jeff. Is Misha Debbie. My name is Debbie. But if you don't know their name, you say, Jay and Tanamahorst, what is your name? Just, if you want to tell your significant other, you know, some sweet things, you could always say, Hagol Akam Orst, I love you. Or, if you don't want to say them, Martian leave in Drazda. Bye for now. If you strike up a conversation with somebody at a bar and you each get a pint and you click glasses, you say Slachava, which is cheers. And then when you spill beer all over everybody, you say Hamiduluk, I'm sorry. And they say, why did you do that? We're still in that 25-part Gaelic lesson. This is part 2. And as always, I will display what I am talking about on the screen. So, today, lesson 2, the present tense of the verb to be. Now, like all verbs in Gaelic, there is only one form for all persons. For a positive statement, in the present tense, this is ha. Just add the subject to it, either a pronoun or a noun. Now this gives you the basis on sentence structure, verb, subject, everything else. Pronouns are combined with the verb ha as follows. Ha me, I am. Ha u, you are. Ha a, he is. Ha e, she is. Ha shin, we are. Ha shiv, you are, the plural form. And ha it, they are. Now there are two ways to say you in Gaelic. U for singular usage, and shiv, you, for formal usage, showing respect, or if you don't know the person or you are talking to. In plural usage for speaking to more than one person, of course. Now, adjectives can be used following the verb to be. The adjective is the same for all subjects. So, the feminine subject, ha-i, fuer, she is cold. The plural subject, ha-iet fuer, they are cold. And the masculine subject, ha-callum fuer, callum is cold. Vocabulary. Adjectives are words that are used to describe or modify nouns or pronouns. For example, nice, big, happy, and mean are adjectives because they describe things. A nice hat, a big rabbit, a happy duck, a mean person. Sayings, I'm going to whip through these real quick. Ma is good, dona is bad, ski is tired, blah is warm. Now watch out for those little marks over the vowels. You'll learn about broad and slender vowels here in a later lesson. Just know that the mark means that you give it a little bit of a broad pronunciation. Che is hot, fuer is cold, snock is nice, more is big, beck is small, chin is sick, luck is weak, lacher is strong, bria is beautiful, toletche is happy, bronach is sad, fluke is wet, chirlum is dry, spiachak is mean, and granda is ugly. Now an adverb is a word used to modify a verb, an adjective or another adverb. For example, is she swims extremely quickly. Now the extremely modifies the adjective quick. Now, I'm sorry, I messed that up a little bit. Glay equals very, means very. Now, glay is a very important, helpful word, but it unites the next word. So lenition is the softening of the next word by placing an H in the second position. For example, glay va, very good. Glay hona, very bad. But watch out, because not every word gets this special treatment. Glay ski, very tired. Glay snock, very nice. And glay luck, very weak. Alright. You'll see more on lenition later on. But there's a practice. I got some practice translation for you to do. Number 1, hami ski. Number 2, ha-iet fuer. Number 3, ha-i fluke. Number 4, ha-shen fuer. Number 5, ha-shiv snock. We're still in that 25-part Gaelic lesson. Today is lesson 3, which is the 4 forms that verbs use to form a sentence. And since that's pretty quick and easy, we're going to do a little bit on lenition as well. So, the 4 forms. You've got the independent, or what's called the positive statement, the dependent, or the negative statement, the interrogative, or the positive question, and the negative interrogative, or the negative question. Now, for all the verbs, that's how it goes. You've already seen ha in some of the earlier lessons as the positive statement. Learning the others will only open up your abilities to form sentences and begin communicating in Gaelic. So ha is the positive statement, like I mentioned. Ha I fuair, it is cold. And then, of course, you have Heniel, which is the negative statement. Heniel I fuair, it is not cold. Then you got the positive question, avail. Sometimes you'll see this as amvail in older versions. See, avail I fuair, is it cold? And then, of course, you got the negative question, which is Nacail. Nacail I fuair, is it not cold? All right, and that's pretty simple. That's you throw that either one of these with some vocabulary, and you're making sentences. All right. So if you want to play around with that would be awesome. Now we're going to work on a little bit on lenition, and you'll see this as you go through, as you're looking at Gaelic words and sentences. And sometimes it doesn't make sense because you see these extra H's thrown in there. And I'm here to just kind of explain this a little bit to you, why that is. Now, lenition, it does take some getting used to, and you'll start seeing a lot of it. It may be a bit confusing, so to help, here are a few particular things to keep in mind. The consonants, which always lenite, are B, C, F, G, M, and P. However, consonants D, T, and S don't usually lenite if the word before them ends in an N, and words beginning with SG, SM, SP, and ST never lenite. We're going to get a little bit more specific, though. Lenition for possession. Now, when talking about possession, you need to lenite after using mo, which is my, and do, which is your, and a his or her, as in ha mo hai fask an rat higishak. My house is near the road. Come in. Right? See, the word tie was lenited there. Right after mo, which is my. Or kachavel dohai. Where is your house? Okay? Heniel dono afurak ansa vala sho itcher. Ha ahai ansa achvala. Now we got a few of them, and now this one. Donald does not live in this town at all. His house is in the next town. You've got the lenition of vala twice in the sentence, and tie. Okay? Now, lenition from prepositions. Words following prepositions, out of, vo, from, j, of, do, for, fo, under, gun, without, and mar, like, are also lenited. Hashen galak, hashen harach, gun volak, rituv, and tie. There's an old garage without a roof beside the house. How the word for garage here, garage, is lenited. Then you have volak after gun, which is lenited. Alright, we're going to move on. Lenition from adjectives. Now, when describing an object or a person using adjectives such as cora, which is odd, j, which is good, droch, which is bad, priv, which is primary, or shun, which is old, the subject is lenited. Ha cora vodak, akoshek shak ahulala. The occasional old man walks past every day. Alright, you see vodak is lenited. Haje shalak an kiu an chilin skianak. There's a good view. You can see the Isle of Skye. Alright. And of course, shalak is lenited. Lenition from modifiers. You also lenite most words following common modifiers, like fjord, true, glay, very, or ro, too. Oh, and of course, sar, which means great. Ha'i glay shavak ansavala sho. It is very quiet in this town. You lenited Savik and Vala. Haniel Irofada, Haniel Irohada Von Fala Vor. They got a lot of lenition in that one. Is not too far from the city. Alright, lenition from numerals. Alright, finally, you lenite words following the numerals 1, which is un, or da, which is 2, and of course achiet, which is the first. It's an ordinal number. The Woord ans the kitchen. There is one table in the kitchen. And ha da hu von Woord. There are 2 dogs under the table. Alright. And that's it for lenition for right now. We're going to move on to a little vocabulary. And, of course, you've got tie, which is house, fask, near, rat, road, forlik, living or staying, bala, which is town, shun, which is old, og, which is young, garage, which is garage, board, which is table, kitchen, which is kitchen, and hu, which is dog, or ku. Note, I am not going to give you the translation for every Gaelic word as we go along. I want you to have to search for the answer. You have the internet and online dictionaries available at your fingertips. Of course, this will help you retain the information and help you in your Gaelic learning. I always find it's best to have an actual physical Gaelic dictionary on hand, and I'll put a picture of the one I have up. So sometimes internet's down and you still want to learn a little Gaelic, it's always best to have that dictionary handy. Alright, I'm going to translate a few words into English for practice before we get going. 1. Veluski. 2. Nakel I fluk. 3. Haniel iet tolice. 4. Haniel shenfur. 5. Nakel iet mor. And 6. Avel shiv che. And I think we're in lesson 4 today. But as always, I'll display on the screen what I am discussing. Alright, let's get busy. Nouns and the definite article. Now in English there is an indefinite article and a definite article. For example, the term a cat means some unspecific cat, while the term the cat means a specific cat. In Gaelic, the definite article is part of the noun. So the following is what you'll see. Ha cat snock. A cat is nice, which is not specific. And ha in cat snock. The cat is nice. Now that's specific. Alright, so that gives you the difference between indefinite and definite article. The definite article is a little more complicated than that. The easiest part to understand is the plural definite article. When the noun is plural, the definite article is always na. It doesn't change for any reason. Note, when the definite article is present, plural nouns beginning with a vowel take an H in front. For example, Nagilin, the boys, or Na Fulin, the apples. The singular definite article is the most complex part of the definite article. This is because 2 factors come into play: gender and initial letter. Use the following system to determine the form. Note, we will discuss gender more in depth in a later lesson. Just know that Gaelic has gender. You got male and female words. And things work. Yes, nouns in Gaelic have gender, meaning that they're either masculine or feminine. English nouns have no gender, which may cause a bit of confusion and difficulty when beginning to learn Gaelic. Try thinking of gender as putting words into grammatical categories that have certain ways in certain circumstances. You cannot always assume that gender of a word relates to the gender representing that word. For example, Bornach, which means woman, is a male word. It's a masculine word. So, luckily, occurrences like this aren't very common. But for the time being, just know that the following about gender: that it exists in Gaelic, that it can vary between dialects. The Gaelic has two genders, masculine and feminine. And it changes how words behave in certain instances. And of course, as you progress through your learning, more will be explained on gender. All right. Now I'll have a little chart here to show you the singular definite article and all the different ways it works. It's like I said, that's the most complex part of all this. So I have a little chart I'll post up, and you guys can take a look at that. All right. Vocabulary. All right. Got nouns: ku, which is dog; cat, which is cat; bornach, which is woman; boxa, which is box; isk, fish; klarsuk, which is harp; and skian, which is knife. Now we got these same vocabulary words, but with the definite article. And ku, the dog, which is a masculine word; and cat, the cat, which is a masculine word as well; and bornach, which is a masculine word, means the woman. And notice it's am instead of an. That happens when you got BF, M, my big fat pig. There's an acronym you use to remember which one to put the am on. It's called my big fat pig. And it's the M, B, F, P. All right. Thank you, Muriel Fisher, for teaching me that. It's been stuck in my head for years. Okay. Boxa, with the B, it's a masculine word as well, means the box. And chisk, the fish, is a masculine word. It's on its own. A harsik, the harp, is a feminine word. And a skian, the knife, which is a feminine word as well. Now, move down to plural nouns. Nachoin, the dogs; nachat, the cats; nabornach, the women; naboxakin, the boxes; nahisk, the fish; naklarsakin, the harps; naskianin, the knives. All right. See the difference between the indefinite, definite, and the plural nouns? Okay. Well, if you need to, get on the internet and research that a little bit more, kind of get a good grasp on that. It helps you when you're reading, because the way the words are worded change a little bit, and sometimes it might throw you out. So if you get a good grasp on this, it'll make it easier when you're reading Gaelic sentences. All right. I got a few sentences to translate into English. Number 1, Hanachoin Snook. Number 2, Avail and Cat More. 3, Chemiel Acharsik Beck. 4, Hanahesk Ma. 5, Chemiel Ku Snook. And 6. Lesson 5. Part 5, Lesson 5. And as always, I'll display on the screen what I am discussing. Now, we're going to talk about some basic prepositions, and the first prepositional pronoun, ek. Now, there are some basic prepositions which can be used to discuss where somebody might be. And the first one is on, or ounce, which is in. Now, if you wanted to use ounce in a sentence, it'd be like ounce a car, in the car. And if you want to use it with the indefinite article, oun boxa, in a box, or the definite article, ounce of oxa, in the box. All right. That's kind of how I'm going to do this. So, next one is air, which means on, and use that in a sentence. Er lavord, on the table. All right. Indefinite article, er broke, on a shoe, or the definite article, er avroke, on the shoe. All right, the next one is ek, which means at. All right. Use it in a sentence. Akahu, at the dog. And the indefinite article, achrut, at a road. Or the definite article, acharat, at the road. All right, the next one is phone, which is under. Phonachora, under the sheep. The indefinite article is phokriv, under a tree, or the definite article, phon achriv, under the tree. All right. Now, Gaelic does not have a verb to have. So in Gaelic, the preposition ek, at, is one way to indicate possession. For example, ha car ach mari, a car is at Mary. And nachach ach Ian, the cats are at Ian. Now, whenever pronouns are used together with prepositions, special combination words are used. Here are the prepositional pronouns for ek, which is at, remember, used here to indicate possession. All right. I'm going to put up a little diagram, and you'll be able to see how these prepositional pronouns are made. You start off with the pronoun, me, u, a, e, shin, shiv, or iat. You add ak, and then that gives you the prepositional pronoun. So, me and ek becomes ekum, which means at me. U and ek put together is eket, means at you. A and ek, eka, at him. E and ek, eka, at her. Shin and ek, eken, at us. Shiv and ek, ekiv, at you, plural. And iat and ek, eka, meaning at them. All right, for example, ha cat ekum, I have a cat. Avail cat eket, do you have a cat? And genial tai eka, he does not have a house. All right. I'm going to give you a little bit of vocabulary here. Adjectives, ard, which is tall or high, and wavasak, which is terrible or awful or very. It can actually be good or bad. You know, if you wanted to say it's hami wavasak ma, I am terribly good. I am very, very good. Okay, glay va means very good. Wavasak ma means very, very good. Okay, it's just like being emphatic about it. All right, adverbs. Cho is so. Ro is to or excessively. Then we have some conjunctions. Ak is but, and agus is and. All right. I got a couple sentences here, 6 of them, for you to translate into English. Number 1, Chanel kar ak morak. 2, Hakat agus ku akam. 3, Avail and tai aken. 4, Ha and tai cho he. 5, Ha ku akam snuk. 6, Nakael and tai ard. All right, keep up the great work and look forward to those next lessons. And Martian leave in Drozda, goodbye for now.